Welcome to this episode of Relatively Famous, the podcast where I, Chip White, interview relatives of famous people. My famous relative, Vanna White of Wheel of Fortune. That's my sister, hence the podcast. Get it? Relatively Famous. Today, I'm excited because I have a really cool guest. I'm a huge fan of her father's, and I'm becoming a huge fan of hers. It's going to be Lilly Hiatt, the daughter of John Hiatt. But before she comes on, I want to thank our sponsors. That's visitmyrtlebeach.com. Visitmyrtlebeach.com. If you're looking for the perfect family vacation, go to my hometown area of Myrtle Beach. There's 60 miles of beautiful beach. There's amazing music. You got the House of Blues, Greg Knowles, Alabama Theater. So there's all kind of great music. There's all kind of great food. If you happen to be traveling with an autistic or sensory sensitive traveler, go to Traveling the Spectrum on Peacock and learn more about going to Myrtle Beach. You can also learn more about traveling with autistic or sensory sensitive travelers on visitmyrtlebeach.com. And just so you know, we are at a comic book shop. That's Nelco Comics here in San Antonio. It's an active, open comic book shop. So if some guests come in, buy some comic books, that'd be cool. And anyway, let's welcome Lilly Hiatt.
Relatively Famous podcast with Chip White.
Lilly, welcome to Relatively Famous.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's, you know, I always say this, but I am a fan of your father's. I've been a fan for a long time.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan too.
He's a great singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And actually got to see him in 2007 in Charlotte with Lyle, Ely and Guy Clark. It was just a fun show.
That is awesome. And I definitely saw some of those shows myself and remembered how great they were. So
you do a lot of interviews, assuming.
Anybody that wants to do one, I'm like, yes, let's do it.
What's the first question most people ask you?
Well, I feel like a lot of times people ask like about how I write songs. It might not be the first question. It might be the second or third, but that's usually kicks it off a lot.
Okay.
So.
We're going to kick it off a little different.
Okay, cool. Good.
After I ask the question, take a second, close your eyes, and take a deep breath through your nose.
Okay.
What did your childhood smell like?
All right. I think it smelled like grass. That's what I think.
Was there what brings that memory, that thought?
Well, I mean, I grew up on a farm most of my life. When we were like 9, we moved out to a farm with a ton of land, and me and my brother and sister spent a ton of time outside with our neighbors, by ourselves, with each other. My mom, was really adamant, like, get outside and play. So we did a lot and went to camp and stuff. So just Tennessee hills and grass. That's what I smell.
Okay, you mentioned your mom.
Yep.
I feel like because of your dad, she probably doesn't get enough credit or enough mention. Tell me about your mom.
My mom is amazing. People do always ask about my dad because, he's famous guy. But my mom doesn't get asked about as much. So I'm happy to talk about her. She is my adopted mother. She adopted me when I was 2. She's been just the voice of reason in my life. She's a very loving person. She's a very fashionable person, very smart. And she'll say one thing and it'll just sum all my thoughts up for me immediately, and I'll carry it with me. So she's great. She's a special woman. Her name is Nancy. So.
Now, you said brothers and sisters. Tell me, I'm sure my fans or listeners are tired of hearing this. I don't do a lot of research because that's like cool. We just met at a party and I want to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's great.
So I didn't know you had brothers and sisters. So tell me about your brothers and sisters.
I have an older brother and a younger sister, and they're just really cool people. And we've all had kind of different experiences and similar ones growing up, just because we're a blended family that kind of all came together over time. So it's really special. There are different things that my older brother's named Rob, my younger sister's named Georgia, and we're all really alike, but a lot different as well. So I love them. I mean, they're my buddies, so yeah.
Are you the only one who followed music, or are they musically also?
They are both musical people. They haven't pursued what I have with that. But we talk about it all the time. They both can write, and they both can carry tunes. And so, but they don't do music for a living. So yeah, I'm the one that kind of took that up, I guess.
I think it might be time for a Hiatt family tour.
I know. I mean, I'm at any time, my sister's written some songs that are really, really good, so if they wanted to be, they could do it. So
songwriting. That's now I think the fifth question. Tell me about your songwriting.
My songwriting is my favorite thing about, other than the people that I love in my life and the pets, the songwriting has been a really important part for me, just to stay afloat and stay grounded and feel like I'm doing something while I'm here. That's just what I've always wanted to do. So that is what I do, so.
Now, your dad's been in the business a long time. I think I became a fan in the 80s, when I think he's around since the 70s.
Yeah.
Has he been like, go for it? Has he been like, it's not the best place to make a living? I mean,
he's been reasonable about it. I think he really was excited when I showed such passion for it, because it's something we share, but he also was, I've had a bunch of dips in my life where I've gone to him and he's like, well, this is how it is, and you either can handle it or you can't. So that's pretty much what he kind of laid out there with it, so, and I take that to heart, because if anybody knows, he does. So it's just, yeah, I think he's happy for me, but he knows the highs and lows of it all. So
okay. Tell me the lowest low and the highest high.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think I know. Within music, or just,
yeah, your career.
Okay. Okay. Well, one of my lowest lows actually occurred in Texas. I was playing in, I wish I could even remember. It was in West Texas. Nobody was going to come to this show, but it was beautiful. It wasn't Lubbock. I'll think of it. It's an oil town, and I'll think of it after.
Odessa.
I know that's. It was close to Odessa, okay. But anyhow, I'll look it up and be like, oh, it was that. But I was playing at a place called the Lone Star Bar. Nobody was gonna come see me there. I just knew it, and I was right when I got there. There were about 5 people. But I will say, one of the guys cheered me on so hard, it made it feel worth it. But I was so lonely, and so, it was a while ago. It was like 2013, and I was just really kind of lost in my life. I had moved away from my family to kind of get some distance from things, but I, in that, realized just how much I wanted to be near them. So, all that to say, I played that show, and the next day I called my dad. I was living in Austin at the time, and I called my dad, and I was like, I need to come home for a little, back. And he was like, well, come on back, So it felt low, but I think it led to a good thing. Lows are important, I guess. And it was just a lonely time. And a high was Eddie Vedder is like one of my heroes. And I got to play his festival in 2018. And I met him. And my sister pretty much pushed me to meet him because I was so shy. I could hardly bring myself to shake his hand, even though he was around all day, But finally, at the end of the night, I just introduced myself and was like, that's all. I just said, hey, and we did a handshake. He was a nice guy. And that was definitely the high. So
now, I would think, 'cause I've had a lot of, especially country music, but a lot of music, sons and daughters and relatives. And no one seems shy about it, because you ask, like, hey, who have you met? What's the greatest thing? And then, they all kind of got these stories. And here you say, like, you were almost terrified to meet Eddie.
I was.
Has there been other moments, like you said, obviously when your dad was playing with Guy Clark and Joe Ely and Lyle Lovett, were those times you got to meet them, was it a different feeling? Was it just because Eddie was in your kind of world, not your dad? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And yes, totally. I mean, I've definitely been around a lot of people because of my dad, and that's always cool. And there is some level of comfort there just because you're like, well, I'm in the family, so I'm, and he's kind of family with these guys now, so I guess I am too. But yeah, to have like one of my heroes of my childhood and me be at a place with him because of what I'd done, and not because of what my dad has done. It meant a lot to me, but the weight of that is overwhelming to me too. And also just I'm scared to talk to, famous, cool people. I'm terrified. I'm not one of those people that's going to march right up and be like, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, I'm not good enough to be around you.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of times too. Like I've been blessed to be some amazing places because of my sister and meet some amazing people.
I'm sure.
I remember in the 80s, I was at Alana Stewart's house for a New Year's Eve party, and Gene Kelly
Wow.
was there, and I
Whoa.
I went and introduced myself, and I don't normally do that because I was like a huge fan of his growing up. My brother turned me on to the musicals. I was like, oh my God, he's such a great dancer. And recently we were playing in the Myrtle Beach Classic golf tournament, and it was Kurt Russell and a bunch of people, but I still didn't kind of march up. I still had that moment, or I waited till my sister was talking to him before, because it's like, even though I'm here for a reason, I still kind of like, well, I'm not worthy sometimes.
Yeah, totally. I understand that feeling. And I feel that with just anyone, really, actually. But yeah, especially with really well-known people. Yeah, it's hard to, you're like, I don't want to bug you, but
now, how do you feel when people come up to you? Are you, do you feel like maybe they feel, are you like grateful?
For sure. I mean, I'm not at a level where people are coming up to me all the time, but, occasionally it'll catch me off guard. Like, I was at a Fish show and a guy was like, hey, I like your music. And I was like, whoa. Like, I'm never anticipating that. So I get excited when people do that because I'm like, are you kidding me? So, but I don't deal with it all the time. So there's that too. I can only imagine if, you deal with that all the time, you've probably got to put your guard up to a certain extent, so.
Do you think, or is the goal, I don't know if this sounds right, how big do you want to be? Does that make sense? I mean, because a lot of people are like, oh, we're never going to sell out. Or I'm just like, dude, I'll sell out in a heartbeat,
Yeah, I totally understand. And I'll go as big as it can go. That's how I feel. Like, if that means filling small rock clubs, all right. If that means one day I get to play some stadiums for some reason or another, sure. Like, I love to play. I love to connect with people. Whoever wants it can have it, So I've never felt... It's funny because I've had people try to explain to me my place in the music world as if I should resign myself to something, and that's not how I feel about it. I just think things are going to go where they're meant to go, so I've got to believe in that, so.
Okay, so you said you played a show for 5 people.
Oh, yeah. I've played a lot of those. Plenty.
What's the biggest? Are the biggest you've been able to sing? Like, I had Jasper Coverdale, David Coverdale's son, recently.
Cool. And that's a good name, Jasper.
Yeah. He's a cool kid.
He sounds cool.
And he said he got to sing with his dad on stage with like 15,000 people. Just a song, but,
Yeah.
What's the biggest moment, not necessarily for your crowd or your crowd, what's your biggest?
Oof. That's hard to gauge because it's like I've played some fests that I was like, there are a lot of people out there. I can't tell how many. One of the biggest crowds I played, though, was in Texas when we opened for Dwight Yoakam a long time ago. Stubbs. I don't know how many people that holds, but I was like, dang, this is a big show out here. It might only be like 1,000. I don't know, but it felt like a lot to me at the time. But, we've done some fests in Europe, I feel like, that were a lot of folks were there, but I'm horrible at number games. So I'm just like, it could have been 700, it could have been 3,000. I don't know.
Right. Who's been because my wife and I are huge fans of Dwight Yoakam.
He's so cool.
Who's been your, and probably shouldn't ask this, favorite that you've played with, because I don't want you burning bridges, but who's...
I know, right? I think my favorite band I've been on tour with, just in terms of it felt so right, was the Drive-By Truckers, because we went out west with them. The shows, it was like, I'm a Southerner, Patterson's a Southerner. They all are in that band for the most part. And just being out in the West Coast, on the West Coast with all these Southerners was hilarious and fun and cool. And just their sound, I think, is similar to kind of what we were doing at the time, what I was doing at the time with my band. So that was 2018, and it was an incredible tour. So,
what's your favorite song that you've written? Do you have one?
Oh man, this is kind of a weird choice, but I think my favorite song I've written is on my most recent record. It's a song called "Shouldn't Be." I wouldn't even say, "Oh, that's my best song." It's just something about it when it happened and when I wrote it was changing and opening up. And I feel like when I hear that song or when I play it, I think about that and it pushes me forward. So right now it's that one.
We talked briefly, and I said I don't do a lot of research. I did do a little bit. And I've mentioned before on the show, like I've got 23 years clean and sober. And,
Good for
and
you.
I've read that you were sober. What's the difference in a show pre-sobriety and after? Because I've talked to a lot of musicians and know several that have gone through sobriety at points in their life where they were actually a little afraid about that they wouldn't be any good. That they couldn't get on stage. That once they got sober. What's it been for you?
Well, I'll say one of my last weekends drinking involved me playing one of those only 5 to 10 people are coming shows. I was in Kentucky. I had, way in the past, but some people in the band just were misbehaving. I couldn't deal with it. I slammed shot after shot, and I don't remember playing that show. And I woke up humiliated. And even though everybody around me was like, "Oh, it's all good, like you were pretty funny, you were kind of doing your thing," I was just like, I don't want to be that on stage, like I want to play songs and remember doing it and the feeling I got from the people there. So yeah, that was one of the prompts for me to be like, I've got to stop doing that. And that wasn't all the time. Sometimes it was just like, you have some drinks and you go play and it feels fun and good, but it was getting dark and, now it's alcohol's everywhere. It's always backstage. It's always around. I just don't mess with it, like I find other things to do and it has to be that way for me because I have too many feelings. And if I'm going to lean back on alcohol again, every time I get, my feelings hurt, it's going to be a mess,
Yeah.
So I get them hurt like 30 times a day. So, just can't be doing it. So it's better now.
Yeah.
It's just better.
When I got sober, I was really just so surprised that not one liquor store closed and one drug dealer didn't quit dealing drugs. I couldn't understand it.
They're still going.
I quit. What do you mean?
Yeah.
That world revolved around me.
I know. It's a lot of revelations happen, I feel, with once you do that. So
what's been the high of sobriety for you? Which is a tough one because every day for me, not every day, but it's like all of a sudden, oh my God, that was amazing. It never would have happened if I was still the old Chip. Has there been something spectacular that you really can go, man, because of sobriety, I got to experience that?
For me, I think it's being married and like knowing that I can get close enough to somebody else and love them enough to make that level of a commitment, because I would never be able to do that. If I had kept drinking and stuff, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't, because I couldn't love myself enough to do that. So, I mean, that's, I don't know if that's the most glamorous answer, but that's the truth for me. It's like, that's what I want to feel. I want to be able to be close to people, and I can't when I'm all messed up.
No, that's true. And we talked briefly, and I did read it, and not outing your dad because it's public knowledge. He's had a bazillion years. Was he an influence? Did he, or did he just kind of step back and go, when you're ready, I'm here?
He did do that. I mean, I could write a novel on what it was like to grow up in the household I did, and I'm sure a lot of people could do that, but it's like, he didn't, there are some things I've had to come to understanding with, on my own, and kind of reframe what certain things mean for me versus what they look like for somebody else in that journey. But he was definitely there. And him and my brother were like the biggest influence when I was like, I have to make some changes. Like, they were the people that were like right there with me, like taking me where I needed to be and helping me out. So, but we try to give each other space with that sort of thing too. So.
Okay. Back to music.
Yes.
I do bounce around a lot.
Yeah,
by the way,
yeah. Good.
Because I'm probably going to bounce back to Tennessee at some point.
Okay, fine.
I love Tennessee, and I want to hear more about that.
It is cool.
Music, you've been doing it for a while. What does it like mean to you? Is it, because some artists are like, the world is, that's all there is to them, and some musicians, it's like what is it for you? Is how deep and ingrained is it in your personality? Does that make sense?
For sure. I mean, I think it's a huge part of who I am. I'm just as big a music fan as I am a songwriter and player or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's something that makes the world better and easier and livable, really. It's like, it's disarming and it's unifying. So, everybody likes it. Even people that say they don't. I'm like, you got to have something you're into, I mean, because I know only a few people that have been just like, I don't really listen to music. But they're still musical. They hear birds and get inspired by that, So it's like, I think it's something everybody shares. So,
styles. Was there a point, or did you like, okay, I've got to be, if I want to have a hit, I've got to find this style it's not really in my heart, but I want that star, right?
For sure.
Have you gone through those phases? Have you settled into like, I'm just going to write the way I feel and not worry about the trend?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had times of being like, all right, well, I know how to do all this stuff now, so like channel it into the best thing you can make, and I think there's something to that, like the skill of it and using that and pushing yourself to do better with that. But the best things I've made have just flowed. And that's true. I mean, I've labored over some of them or edited them and shaped them up. But when it's there, it's there. And when it's not, it's really not. And that's just kind of what I found. I've written a few songs that I wasn't getting the feeling from, that I ended up, over time being like, well, actually, this isn't that bad, and using it. But most often it's like you have to kind of mean it and know what you're talking about, or I do, to make something that I want to stick with.
Have you ever had a label try to design you? Does that make sense?
For sure. I mean, in a gentler way than like a pop star would go through, because I'm just not that kind of girl that people do that with. I don't have that look or appeal, I don't think. But I have had, of course, business people try to influence things, never with like my appearance, but with my sound and like choices I'm making. And I've always stuck to my own ideas for better or worse. I mean, so and that's just kind of how it's been. So.
What is a Lilly Hiatt show like? You know, Springsteen was known for doing 3-hour shows, and
Yeah.
somebody's known for, you know, a lot of weed at their. I mean, what is it? What is the Lilly Hiatt show known for?
I think, well, there's the band stuff and the solo stuff. The band stuff's pretty rockin' time, I think. It's just a good, we pack a punch and we get out of there and hope you have a good time. And people seem to. And when I'm on my own, it's kind of just like a hangout. Like, I talk a little more. I'm a little more open at my solo sets. Maybe try some new stuff. I think my crowds are really nice. Like, they're really sweet and usually like to just listen and hang out. And so it's pretty laid back. There's no, it needs to be like this. And the vibe is natural usually. So
Tennessee.
yes.
You talked a little about how you love Tennessee. It's
Yes.
home.
Yep.
How would you describe Tennessee to someone who's never been there?
Tennessee has a beauty that will grow on you over time if you're not used to it. It's it's earthy and it's rootsy, and it's a very musical place, and it's misunderstood, and it's a little all over the place in its own way. You got Nashville, Knoxville, Memphis, 3 real different cities, which I'm proud of, honestly. So, yeah, it's a beautiful place.
What's your favorite place to play in Tennessee?
Like a venue or a city? Oh, that's a good question. I think my favorite place to play, truly probably Third Man Records is, if you can play there, you're going to have a good night.
That's Jack White's place,
It's
right?
Jack White's place. It sounds incredible. It's a perfect size room. So kind of like, if a lot of people come, it feels good. If not a lot of people come, it still feels good because it's cool in there, and the backstage is amazing, and it's just awesome. So
Now, I asked you before if you'd ever played the Myrtle Beach area.
I know, and I haven't, which needs to change.
I think so too. I think that, come on, Alabama, come on, House of Blues. If you were to play that area, say House of Blues, pretty good size venue,
Yeah.
solo or band?
I'd probably take a band to Myrtle Beach. That seems like the kind of place you need your band to. It's like when you're by the beach, people want to rock and they want to let loose. It's not like you can't do that on an acoustic night. You can, but it'd be fun to take everybody.
Are you a beach person?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my dream is to live by the beach. So hopefully my husband and I will get there one day.
What's it like where you guys live now? Because you were on a farm growing up.
Yep.
Are you guys in the country? Are you farm people?
We're not farm people, but we live almost in the country. We're close, and we're kind of right at the start of it. So, it feels really rural where we are, but it's not far from the city. So it's actually really nice. We have like an acre of land, which is for us a lot, but no, I don't think we could manage a farm. Like we got that acre and it's enough. So it's like, I need to be able to get to places quick. I grew up about 20 minutes from everything, and it was awesome, but it gets a little isolated too. And that's not even that far,
I know.
So
Yeah.
I think I'm a little more a city girl at heart, but I do love the chill of the country. So
And the beach always is nice.
yeah, the beach is amazing.
Favorite or most, not even favorite, most memorable Christmas?
Oh, wow, that's a good one. Well, I think, you know what? I think it might have been 2021 because it was just like the first Christmas my husband we weren't married yet, but, he came and everybody was back together after 2020 madness, and just felt like we were getting back on track. And, I don't know, there's something really bonding about that Christmas. And that was my first Christmas with his family too. And I was just falling in love with his family and stuff. So it was a good one.
Most memorable childhood Christmas Santa Claus gift?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, I hope there aren't kids listening to this because I'm about to reveal something about Santa, but it was a Magic 8 Ball when I was 6. And it was memorable because I wanted it more than anything. And I found it in my mom's closet. And then under the tree, it was from Santa. And I was like, light bulbs are going off for me. So
Was that the first question you asked the 8 Ball?
yeah. Yeah. I'm like, is Santa real?
What's been probably the most difficult song for you to write that you still perform?
Hard as emotionally or like technically?
Either one.
I think I have a song called Different, I guess, on my record Trinity Lane, and I was just in tons of pain when I wrote it, and it's hard to play it because I'm like, ugh, did not like the way I felt at all. It just had to happen, that song, and I'm glad it's there, and I'd like to play it again, but I almost avoid it because it was hard, so, yeah.
What's the, I don't necessarily happiest, but what's the most joyful song you still sing that you've written that you love performing?
Oh, well, I love performing Trinity Lane from that same record because it was kind of almost the flip side of the one before it where I was like, I'm getting out of that. So I remember that feeling. It was like the start of a new life for me, and that I've kind of in the beginning of something new for me that has, grown over time. So that's kind of like my anchor song in a way.
You had mentioned ups and downs, and I always say, like, when you put a heart monitor on, if it's doing this, you're alive, it's good.
Yeah.
If it does this, not a good sign.
That's a good analogy.
I think life
So,
has to go up and down.
yeah.
What's been the ups and downs of being a touring artist for so many years? Because my wife, who you met, she moved to LA to be a rock star, and we went through the music scene. And I think we both sometimes sit and wonder, what if we had taken that route? Because it's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
So what's been the ups and downs of touring for you that keep you going?
Oh man, I mean, there have been many ups and downs. The downs, I'll start with the downs. Just, you have to spend a lot of time away from people you care about, and that is so hard. And sometimes I can't believe I chose this path because in my heart, all I want is to be with my partner all the time. I mean, that's really what I want, but I can't, but then it's like when you get that, you start picking at them and you start being kind of a certain kind of way. And it's because I need this and I need this other part of my life. And I love traveling. I mean, it is hard work, and I keep a pretty do it in a pretty bare bones way at this point because I'm just always trying to come out ahead a little bit when I get home. But and it works. But yeah, it is. There's a lot of time alone. It can be really lonely. You can be like, what am I doing? You see a dog and you cry because you miss your dog or whatever. But I also see so many things out here that just let me know, it's all connected and it's going to be all right. You're where you're supposed to be. And that's very reassuring. I love meeting people. The stimulation is good for me because I'm, so addictive. It's like I need constant change and stuff. So it works for that. And I love to play. So those are the highs. That's the high. So.
Okay. Now, I noticed your ink. My niece, Gigi, who was a guest on the show also.
Oh, Gigi. Cool.
Is a tattoo artist in LA.
Cool. Wow.
Amazing. You can look her up on Instagram. You can also look up her old episode.
Okay, I'll find her.
Do yours have meaning? Or sometimes just like, give me that one? Are all of them something you helped design?
They're all ideas I've had, and they do all mean something. I don't have any that are just purely aesthetic. They all have meaning to them. So, yeah. And actually, no one ever asks. And I'm really caught off guard when ever so often someone will be like, what does that tattoo mean? And I'm like, oh, well, it means this, so, but of course, no one asks, like everybody has tattoos now. Like I don't ask other people either. So it's nice to talk about it. Yeah.
What's the most meaning one or the one that really was the not toughest to get, but really like has a deep meaning? Like, I don't know, maybe it's hidden where people don't ask about it. Do you have one like that?
Oh, well, I think I have to think about it a little bit. I think it's probably, I got this one, it just says rascal, and I got it when I first quit drinking. I went on a trip with my good friend, and, we got tattoos together, but I was like, again, just kind of, I think I was trying to prove a little bit, like I'm still, wild and all this stuff. And
if you're just listening and not watching YouTube, she has rascal on her right wrist.
I was just like, all right, this is a new era, so I look at that and I laugh because I'm like, what was I trying to prove with those?
Last question. What is the one question I didn't ask you that you wish I would ask?
If I had any pets.
Okay. Tell me about your pets.
All right. Well, I have a dog. His name's Elvis, and me and my husband love him very much. He's a lab pit. He's black and white. He's adorable, and he's 6, and he's a good boy, and I take him everywhere. We go to Dollar General together, and I get him chips, and I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I only give him a few. And yeah, he's just been a good friend to the both of us, so we feel lucky that we have Elvis.
How did you find Elvis?
Truth be told, Elvis is from Craigslist in 2020. So that's where I found him. I got him out of a FedEx truck in a Walmart parking lot. So that's the true story of Elvis and me's beginning. So just being real.
Sounds like a great Elvis story.
He's a good boy.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. I have had a blast.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Okay. I had a ball doing that. Hope you guys will check out Lilly Hiatt online, buy some of her music, download it, stream it, and just go check her out. When she's live in town, go see her. We're going to go see her for sure. I want to thank you, the viewer, the listener, for being here. Without you, the podcast would not be about. We would just be like out in the air spinning with no one listening. So thank you. I humbly appreciate you spending your time with us. I want to thank our sponsor, visitmyrtlebeach.com. That's visitmyrtlebeach.com. Again, if you want to go find a great vacation, hear some great music, go to Myrtle Beach. There's some great nightclubs there. You can listen to some old beach music. You can watch people shag. There's country clubs. There's rock and roll clubs, there's shag clubs, so the music is phenomenal. There's some amazing food. If you happen to be traveling with an autistic or sensory sensitive traveler, be sure to check out Traveling the Spectrum on Peacock and learn more about that at visitmyrtlebeach.com. I want to thank our comic book shop, Nelco Comics, here in San Antonio. If you're looking for an unusual older comic, come check them out, go online. And I want to thank our producers, and that's Nelco Media. And I want to thank again you, the viewer. And I want to thank Lily. Thanks.
You've been listening to Relatively Famous with Chip White. Please like and subscribe to Relatively Famous with Chip White.